Robbie, welcome to the Motivate Collective podcast. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Mel. And a pleasure to be here.
For those who are listening, my name is Melanie Suzanne Wilson, and this is the first in-person recording of the podcast. And Robbie, we met a week ago, and I learned that you have been a fitness trainer for a long time, and you have a business that is thriving. Let's explain to everybody where you came from and how you went on a journey to do what you do.
Okay, well, it's a long story, but I'll make it very short, right? So I'm originally from Italy, from the middle north of Italy. I came over to Australia 12 years ago in 2013, exactly on my 28th birthday, because I wanted to be reborn, let's say. So I wanted to put back 28 years of my life and restart fresh new, and that was an incredible success. So I regret absolutely nothing. Actually, looking back, I think I made the best decision of my life, because we are in such a lucky country. Every day when I wake up and I see Sydney, it reminds myself how lucky I am to be here. So that's the number one. Number two, I came over to Australia, and in 6 months I was able to get a sponsorship for the old 457 visa as a swimming coach, because that's my background with exercise and sports science. So basically in July 2013, I concluded my bachelor degree in exercise sports science back in Italy with one-way ticket to Sydney. And then, so that's how I landed in September. I hit my first job in probably 2 or 3 days in a very big aquatic center, I'd say. And then my boss at the time was so nice to me, and he inspired me so much exactly to do what I do right now, because he not only sponsored me and trusted me, that obviously took me to get the permanent residency and then eventually the citizenship. But also I remember he paid for my bills, he paid for my rent. And so that was an inspiration actually, because how grateful I am about him then reflects on what I do today. And today, to me, my biggest motivation is to employ people and give them the opportunity to thrive in Australia, whether there are Australians or from overseas. And then I want to give them all the opportunities that they deserve based on their work ethic and based on how hard they work.
This is amazing, because as much as we will need to talk about health and wellness, you are actually looking after people and guiding people to have self-care by working hard and by giving them the opportunity. And so someone gave you the chance and supported you financially. And what led you to realize that you needed to start your own business and help people by employing them? How did you journey to that?
Okay, so number one, I do not like by any means be told what to do. I do not like that. I always wanted to be an employer. Reason being because I had a past trauma based on my former employers back when I was in Italy, right? So before university, I went through some work experiences and for 2 or 3 years, and I didn't really like, and that's what motivated me to go back to university. So I always thought, do employers need to be such assholes and such bad people? Why can't employers be just good? And then so over the years, then I learned how I just had a very bad experience. I've met so many good employers around my time over in Italy, and I said, well, I think Australia is the right place for me. I want to go there and I want to become an employer eventually. And then funny how things happen. Then I met my former boss and Todd, and then he just showed me how what I believed it was completely true. So we can be good employers to people, even if we're thriving and we are sometimes harsh and we want things to happen fast. But I think the core idea of being an employer, a good employer, means that you're looking after the people to develop, their skills, their personality, and their bank account. Because at the end of the day, if they can provide for their families or they can provide for themselves and build something for themselves, I'll be fulfilled, honestly.
That is such a great intention, because it's not just about what your business can get. It's about genuinely wanting people's families to be okay. I'm curious, do you feel comfortable to give even a hint of what happened with the trauma that led you to know you don't want to be like that past boss?
Absolutely. So for anybody who's listening this, here's definitely what you do not want to go through. So I was just a kid. I was 18 to 21 to 22, I think. And I just finished high school in graphics, which, by the way, I never chosen. My dad chosen for me, because at that time, parents always choose for the kids. And in that phase when we chosen that, I wasn't in a right mind and space, and I didn't have grown my personality. So I then started whatever job was required for me after the high school, which was in graphics. And when you go into factories of printing and graphics, things like that, the employers just want production. They want production, they want it fast. They don't care if you have done, if you have other things in life. You just need to do stuff, and whatever life you have to give it up for them, right?
Was there no consideration of your personal life and things that you needed?
No, and on top of that, even if you were bringing that up, you would be screamed at and yelled at and insulted and offended in front of other people. That's exactly what happened to me.
That's fascinating. So you were, 18, 19, you were young?
Yes.
I had a similar thing happen. A boss basically outed a diagnosis that I had in front of a whole group of people at a meeting, and that feels so illegal, and you are getting screamed at because of your personal life. So it seems like a bad boss doesn't have to tell us that we are never going to be good at what we do. It can inspire people. Do you think that other people who are listening should consider creating even a small business and hiring one or two people and getting started to then help others to be the boss they wish they had?
Absolutely. And we probably will touch base on this later. Right now, giving a go to a business, it's been the easiest it has ever been. Because right now, you can open a business on AI. If you just want to learn a little bit of AI, you can learn AI in 24 hours, honestly. You can use AI to teach you how to use AI, create a business, one-person business, and then as you grow it, you can hire another person, or you can start it with a mate, and you can start together with literally little or no cost. So running a business in AI right now, it's like $300 a month, $500 a month maximum.
What are you spending that on?
In the tools that you need to create what you need. So right now, if really you want to start a business and you don't know where to start, just text me on my Instagram at Robbie Mattei, and we can have a chat and I can show you exactly how it is. It's very simple. Simpler than you think.
We need to explore this, and I feel so grateful that I have learned from content that showed me the basics of AI, and you are learning from great experts as well. And before that, I probably had the assumption that a lot of other people had, which is AI robots will take over our lives, they will one day kill us, but I don't think that's true, and I think it is already empowering us. So let's dig into that for a second, because a lot of people are scared that their jobs will be replaced, but I'm saying that suddenly people can actually get more creative or connect with people without drowning in emails, without drowning in the boring tasks. So how have you seen that AI has actually made your work easier and given you more meaningful work?
Well, look, whoever is worried about being replaced by AI, they're not entirely wrong if they don't take any steps now. They got about 12 months to do this, right? So you can't be replaced by AI if you know how to use it. So somebody that can use AI and you don't, they will have advantage. Of course, you're going to be replaced by somebody that knows how to use AI. Now, here's the thing. If you know how to use AI, you have the advantage on your job, and even if you want to change career, you will have the advantage of understanding what the things that you can leverage with AI with little to no cost right now. So you might want to jump now, because later on the things that you learn today probably won't be needed tomorrow, because those ones will be automated. Like for example, I'll give you 2 things that we will not need to do anymore within the next 6 to 12 months. Number 1, you don't have to type it anymore. You can just talk to it and it will transcribe and it will give it a prompt. You can already do it now, but now there is a double choice. Probably the second choice of typing will not even needed anymore. We will have no more keyboards, right? On the phones, none. No, because you can just talk to it. Now, the transcription tools on AI are becoming better and better and better. The second thing with AI that's going to come is that you're going to go from prompt the AI to do one thing specific for you, or 2 or 3 things specific for you, to prompt the outcome that you want, and the AI will work out itself the prompts that you would have given today. Next time you don't need it, because at that point you will say, I need you to do this for me, and the AI will learn itself what prompts it needs to get to that outcome. So you will basically leave the AI working while you're probably preparing your dinner.
So in other words, it will tell itself what to do.
That's right. So right now we are in the era of ANI, which is, it stands for Artificial Narrow Intelligence. So Artificial Narrow Intelligence. So narrow. So you go and give it a prompt, and the AI will give you the result. Then, yes, you might need 2 or 3 different prompts to get to the final outcome, but that's a different story. But you give her a prompt and it will give you that particular outcome that you need. Now, if you give it the full picture, it will still ask you questions based on certain things, right? Then we will go to a point where there will be AGI. The era of AGI is Artificial General Intelligence. Now, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. So you will be able to tell it what you want, and the AI will not need to ask you any more questions, because it's got the whole memory of you and going straight to that outcome. Maybe it might be working for 24 hours or maybe 8 hours or 4 hours, I don't know. But we will get to the point where the artificial general intelligence will understand what you need even without you telling the whole picture. When right now you need to tell the whole picture.
Right. Do you think right now and for a while we will need to tell AI a lot more of the context? I'm asking that because I tell AI sometimes for fun, write a chapter about me, and it's so close because I put so much on the internet, but it has these gaps. But for a strategy, it's only using the information of what's publicly available unless I add something. And so it gets the bright, shiny, perfect version of me without the extra context to tell it what I also need. So right now, if people are feeling disappointed with what they're getting from AI, do you think it's because they need to give the AI more information at the moment?
Yes. So many people don't know this, but you need to create your master prompt. So your master prompt is what you tell it AI about yourself and everything that you want to tell the AI about yourself. That way you can upload that file, whether it could be a Word file, a PDF file, a CSV, a text file, whatever you want. And then you can upload it and the AI will know exactly who you are and how it needs to be talking to you, right? Now, the amount of detail that you want to put, it's completely up to you. And not just who you are and your past, and you also tell it what you want to achieve in the next 5 or 10 years. And that will calculate automatically every time you talk to the AI It will give you the right advice based on your goals.
Well, that's bringing us beyond the robots right there. Gosh, I love that phrase. I wanted that in a tweet. Beyond the robots, we need to know where we want to go. And that feels significant because I'm not sure if you had a grand plan for your 5 or 10 years. You did. When I was getting through the COVID era, I was just facing every month or every year, and life did not feel stable enough to look to the future. But now it seems like we can build something for 5 or 10 years away if we know where we want to go. So as someone who has a business and who is using technology, what do you recommend to people who need to start looking to their futures more?
Well, you need to learn the basics, and that can be literally learned in less than 24 hours. It depends how well you lock in, right? How well you focus and how well you lock in. And by lock in means going to a place, a little room like this one, putting your AirPods on, instrumental music, and locking in and learning as much as you can. You can ask AI to tell you what you need to learn for what you want to do. Later on, using that knowledge and searching about the tools that you need in order to create what you need. Right now, the biggest leverage you can have is building automations, which could be automations for businesses, or it can be simply automations for you just to create your own routine. Like, for example, if you have a job that requires a lot of work in the computer, you can literally build the routine of automations for you, so while you're sleeping, that will work for you. In the morning when you wake up, all you have to do is to click a few buttons.
Okay, the automated routine, that is leading to the wellness habits that I wanted to ask about, because you know so much about technology, and I'll ask more about employing people later, but you know fitness. You've been doing fitness a long time, and there are people out there who are struggling, and we take that for granted. For me, I know I could be more thin, but I keep forgetting I was 20 kilos larger than this years ago.
Well done.
Because I take it for granted. And the thing that's just your normal is that you've always been doing the fitness activities. And so I'm wondering, for those who don't have that as their normal, and maybe for those who are perhaps struggling with their weight, or struggling with wondering even what to eat, or what are some basics? Because we need to cover that. That's what you know. So what are the basics that people should know, and what should they be also asking the technology to help them with to get their lives on track?
Okay. It all depends whether a person can be accountable for themselves or not. That's the first question. So if you've always been struggling into saying, tomorrow I'm going to the gym, or tomorrow I'm going to walk, or tomorrow I'm going to swim, or tomorrow I'm going to eat clean, and you never do it, that's when you need real help. And that's where we, personal trainers, we, fitness coaches, we, whoever you need, can come and help, even like nutritionists or dietitians. Now, if you are somebody that is self-motivated, you can use AI to write your program for training, for nutrition, for anything like that. You can upload your body scan, so you can go and pay for one-off body scan. You can upload it onto ChatGPT, and you can ask it to prepare a program of 2 days per week, 3 days per week, 5 days per week, whatever you need to lose weight or to become stronger, and then the meal plan, because obviously you can't out-train a bad diet. You can't start training and then you still eat macas.
Yes, thank you. That is significant. So many people will eat junk food and then try to run it off. So we're hearing it from the expert. That will not work, right?
It will not. It will not. Simply will not. So there are two major components when you want to create a healthier routine. Number one, put your alarm not when you need to wake up, but to go to sleep. Put your alarm to go to sleep. That's number one. Number two, understand your body type. So there are 3 major body types with 2 intermediate ones. So you start from ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph. So ectomorph are the people who are naturally very skinny. Bony, skinny, normally they don't have much muscle tone, and they struggle to put on weight, let's say, and putting muscle on is very difficult and is very painful, and they are very prone to injuries. Then there is the mesomorph. The mesomorph are the typical athletes. They are the lucky ones, right? So the people who are naturally and genetically more inclined to having a good body, even if they're not super, super disciplined, they can pretty much stay in shape and then easily get back into fitness. They are unicorns, right? Unicorns, there you can see. And then there are the endomorphs. The endomorphs are the least lucky people with the genetics, because they are the ones that the metabolism is a bit slower. They are more like a pear or apple shape. It doesn't mean they can't be healthy. They normally naturally are more strong than anybody else. Like their strength is like superhuman strength. However, their ability to maintain a body weight that is at least in a norm and balanced is a bit more difficult. Just like for the ectomorph, it's difficult to build muscle and they are prone to injuries. The endomorphs are more prone to diabetes or like weight gain pretty fast and things like that. So those three body types will give you exactly the macronutrients to eat: carbohydrates, protein, and fats per day.
There's a lot to look at here. I'm so keen to find out, why are the naturally thin people prone to injuries?
Because the level of the muscle tone, the skeletal muscle mass is a lot lighter, is a lot smaller. So therefore there is not much support for the joints, for the tendons, for the cartilage, for anything that it's regarding towards the bones and the skeletal part of the body. Make sense?
Right. So if someone lands on a wrist, then something like that. I see.
That's right.
And then for the other end, the people who are prone to diabetes, things like that, what do you normally recommend to them? Do they just need to start with the basics? I personally follow the bare essentials. I think beans and rice will save you more than money. It will save you kilos as well. But what do you normally say to those situations?
Well, look, it's especially for the endomorph, for everyone really, but especially for the endomorphs, there is a simple formula. Eat better, move more. They need to move more. For people especially who are living in the office all day, every day because of work, and then they come home, they sit down on the couch to watch Netflix. That's literally a torture for the body, a torture for the lifespan, because obviously not moving as much will tighten up your body, it will not increase your muscle tone, your metabolism will be constantly stuck and very slow, so their ability to maintain a body fat percentage or a body composition or like a fat amount into the body is going towards the negative rather than the positive. So the biggest suggestion I have for people who are endomorphs is to move more and reduce the amount of simple sugars that they are having.
Simple sugar, the refined sugar that we know.
That's absolutely a cancer to their body.
Skip the sugar. And it's easier than we think, right? So step one is don't have the soda or the soft drink. It's the obvious things. Is that a good place to start?
Absolutely. Soft drinks now is an easy way to put sugar into your body. And by the way, sugar is everywhere.
Yes.
Sugar is literally everywhere. And especially if you go and buy pre-made meals from takeaways or even on supermarkets right now, there are a lot of pre-made meals. There are the good ones, don't get me wrong, like macro-friendly, and then there are the ones who seem like macro-friendly, but they're not. So you need to be very careful on reading the labels. Right now, it's so easy. Coming back to AI, even if you know nothing, absolutely nothing, you pick up your phone, your smartphone, and then you take a photo of those macronutrients and the ingredients or the label of that particular pre-made meal on the supermarket, and you will ask it if that is actually a good meal for you. And it will tell you exactly what the pros and the cons of that particular meal it is. Even if you don't have a nutritionist next to you, you actually have it in your phone.
I love that idea because the ingredients lists have included so many words for a sugar. There's the glucose. There are all these words that will not feel like something familiar. So that's a great step. And you know what often catches people out? The sauces, right?
That's right.
I love to go to the burrito places, get simple salad, beans, black rice, and then I tell them skip the sauce. Do you find that the sugar is hiding in things like sauces and other things that people might not expect?
100%. Why not? If you do, for example, a type of dish that you just said, why not just putting extra virgin olive oil?
Yes.
It's so simple. It's raw, it's natural, go for it.
Actually, it's great you brought that up because the Mediterranean influences on our diets can make a difference. You are Italian, I have some Italian family, and I know that even the people who look at longevity recommend the Mediterranean foods, and I have a feeling that those who are into preventing Alzheimer's, from what I recall, a lot of the Mediterranean things will not hurt that. So yes, it's really going to make a difference. So the next question I was really keen to ask is, how can people support the well-being of their workers in a way that will then get better results in their businesses? Because I assume you're mainly hiring personal trainers?
Yeah, a few roles like personal trainers, salespeople, admin people. Yeah.
So they probably have the habits because they're working for a fitness business.
Oh, you'd be surprised. But
Okay,
yes, naturally, yes. Naturally, people that really, really love fitness.
But you do get some. So do you do anything in your business to support the well-being of your employees so that they can then do a better job and feel comfortable to keep working for you for a longer time?
Okay, so well, obviously we use the tools that we have within the studios. Like we have body scans, so we do a regular body scan every 9 weeks with all the trainers and all the people that we have in there. We promote the macronutrients. So I actually want to create a macronutrient fridge where we can all the trainers and the people that work with me can actually buy for half of the price the pre-made meals, macro friendly. So we want to create all of that. So I got inspired by Dan Martel because he does that in Canada. I've seen that where he's got the Martel macros. So I want to replicate that, and who better than us should do this, right? It's in the fitness studio. So that's the number one. Obviously, regular check-ins and regular goal sessions and nutrition sessions and training that we do. That's obviously regular. And then that will also create a level of accountability and role modeling. So we have this thing called the 8 R's. So it's the 8 R's are the 8 things that you need to do in order for you to be successful. And the number one R out of the 8 is role model. So imagine if you are a fat trainer. How can you teach somebody else to lose fat?
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. If you're going to inspire people to feel good, you need to feel good. I relate to that so much because I need to make sure, even with stress, right? Stress can influence everything, our physical health, our work. So I know that if I'm going to inspire people, I have to start by not getting too stressed. And if you're going to inspire people to get fit, you need to be fit, or they're going to wonder, well, practice what you preach, basically.
That's right. Imagine if you go to a dietitian or a nutritionist and they are 25 or 30 kilograms overweight, right? How can you trust them? So I always go by this idea. I trust you if you look after your body, because your body shows me how much you care about yourself. So how can I trust you to do work with me and to take care of my business together with me if you don't even look after your body. It means you're not prioritizing your body. How can you even prioritize things from someone else?
Yes.
That's what I believe.
Absolutely. And along with that, it comes back to the logic of showing up. Show up for what you need, even when you might have a hesitation. So show up for the habits. And I'm curious, do you work with anyone who travels? Of course, we met people who travel a lot, but yes, big shout out to Renee and Dan, they're cool. But so when people are traveling, I find it is so difficult. Even I've been traveling back to Sydney a bit, and I had to ask AI, please find some yoga in these suburbs, find the places. But then what do you say to people who are shuffling around their routine and still trying to do the essential things when something has changed?
Let's remember one thing, that we always have a choice, right? And if you want to maintain your balanced body weight, you can always choose what you can eat. And if you don't, if you're not able to choose the good things, then it might be not a bad idea to skip that meal, right? At the end of the day, you have to separate yourself from the people who are trying to drag you into the unhealthy side, and stay around the people that can help your health, right? But also, to what you just said, if you're traveling and you know where you're going, as long as you got internet, you can run and you can come back to your hotel.
Right.
You can go to a gym that is close by to where you live or to where your hotel is. Most hotels right now have the gym, have the sauna, have the swimming pool. So right now in 2026, we do not have any excuse whatsoever not to move our body wherever we go. Please.
Yes, there's no excuse. And literally right across the street from this studio, there's an amazing gym that has a free trial, the website says.
That's right.
How hard is that?
It is not. It is not. Right now, everyone does a free trial at least one day, because obviously if they can show off their equipment and their stuff, and you like what you see, obviously you're going to buy from them. I would, if I like a gym where I go to, I could, if I stay, for example, for 2 or 3 months because of anything that I need to do, I can buy the membership in that gym. Try one day with this gym, then one day the other gym, one day the other gym, and then I choose the one that I like the most. Every time I go to Japan once a year.
Nice.
Every time I go to Japan, I know which gym I want to go to. I've got 3 in a space of less than a kilometer. And I always go to the gym that I know it works for me. So, you can definitely do anything you want as long as you've got internet and you know where you're going.
And step 1, if there's nothing else, you can go for a walk as long as you don't get lost, or a run.
100%.
Definitely. And if the internet drops, ask a local, right? Ask someone for directions.
It's very difficult right now, because even having a new SIM card in another country is so cheap. Honestly, like with $5 you get 5 gigabytes. So it's easy.
It's easy. So beyond travel, let's figure out the three essential things that people should be doing, because I'm inspired by what you're doing to see that most people should be starting a business. I mean, not everybody should, but I think in this day and age, most people need to work for themselves, at least alongside working for someone else. And so I want to know the first steps with that. And also, we looked at the first steps for looking after our physical health. So any other first steps around that? And the other thing to look at with a first step is going back to making a big life change, because you made the decision early on in your career to take the leap, go to Australia and say it is time for where you know you are meant to be. So let's start off with, if someone is thinking, I think I should start a business, and I've never done this before, and I feel a bit nervous, or I don't think that I know enough to do it. What would you say if someone is just starting to think about starting a business?
Start. Just start. Start whatever you like to do. Think about what you would normally do outside of your work. So do you like to play video game? Play video games. Record yourself while you're playing video games. Put it on YouTube and see how many views you're getting. That's one thing, right? So that's already a business. Or, for example, whatever you're doing in your life that requires you to spend some of the time and you like to do that, let's call it fitness or sport. Why don't you open an AI platform that records all your performances in the sport? Right? So you could create that. So there are multiple ideas. Like we're all tracking everything right now. So why don't you create something that could connect to those trackers and give some added value to something that hasn't been created yet? Be creative. But the thing is, what is the worst case scenario? You spending $300 per month and then it fails. So what? You at least tried, you learned something, and you might fall into somebody who's got a very successful business, and then from what you've learned, you might be useful to those people and might be progressing in their career and become a partner or a business owner yourself later on. Anything that you try is better than not trying. Remember, sitting down is not going to help. Doing something, even if it fails, is better than not doing something. Winners lose more than any loser, because they try more, so they fail more. It's a simple number.
And you can break up that number even more, because the 300 in a month per week or per day, that's even smaller. And chances are some people are spending money on, I don't know, people used to buy movies, but chances are we're spending money on something that could be spent on this instead. And there are small ways to get started right. I started off using Riverside, and that changed my life. So did you start with one or two tools and then build it up? Or did you just go all in with all of it?
See, here's the thing, right? You can go to courses, you can get diplomas, you can sign up for TAFE, university, or whatever that is. But my personal opinion, university will be gone within the next 5 to 10 years. Reason why is because if you want to learn something about AI, you do not need a diploma. You can just try, ask, and learn, self-learn, self-pace without spending $80,000 worth of loan, right? You could be used that outside of your 9 to 5 job or outside of your school hours. You can just learn that by trying and pay a membership for ChatGPT Plus. Come on, that's ridiculous, right? So by doing that, you're already learning a lot. You're doing a course yourself by trying and failing. That's what I've been doing. And now, after 3 months of me trying every single day very hard, I understood now how to do things. And I've never known how to code, because I've always been a fitness guy. I've always been a swimming and soccer guy.
Yes.
So I have no clue about how to code. I might need somebody to help me to scale that. So I'm actually looking for a technical support and a technical business partner, yes, because I'm the creative and the sales and marketing guy. But in saying that, I know exactly how to prompt certain things so I can create that. And that's my course. That's my diploma. Let's call it like that.
It's your education. That's a great way to compare it, because it's not simply what consumer products are we skipping, but people end up owing so much money in student loans. Over here it's HECS. Every country has an equivalent. And I feel that pain. And actually, I learned years ago in a course, I'm not kidding you, I learned to, from scratch on Adobe Illustrator, join the dots, the vectors, and now the computer is doing so much of that for us. I learned to, from scratch, edit the audio bit by bit in Adobe, and it's great too. If you feel like learning that, it's great to do that, but now the robots do that edit with a click of a button. And there are some people who are still going through months of a course before even setting up a show, whereas we are now sitting in a studio and it was so easy to do this. It was really easy to just book a room, sit in front of a mic and get this going, and then the robots do the rest. And I personally love storytelling as part of business because the story shows people your unique perspective that can't be replaced. But whatever someone is into, be it gaming, the technology, it sounds like the technology will show the world the map of how people can do what you do, be it gaming or anything else.
That's right. So I guess the biggest lesson we need to learn is, what are you going to do with your life if you don't know it? The easiest thing to do is to talk to somebody that you trust or that you know they're going to push you to the next level, or simply ask ChatGPT. Like, it's so simple. Honestly, you can ask it not to be a nice person to you. Ask it to be a tough coach.
How do you do that?
Well, you just prompt it and you say, hey, ChatGPT, I need you to be my very hard coach. I need to set up goals for my next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know where to go. So I need you to ask me certain questions and don't stop until we find my 10 years, 5 years, and 1 year goal. So then I can break the year down to the next 6 months, to the next month, and to the next week.
Robbie, I'm having a light bulb moment as you say this, because especially in Australia, people don't want to offend a friend. And so we're talking about this before we were recording. And so if you were going to ask your mate, how do you think I'm going? They are going to encourage you so much they won't potentially push you as much as they would have, because they want to protect your emotions. They also might not have all the information as well. So do you think there's the potential that ChatGPT can be honest with us in a way that might not happen with mates?
As long as you prompt it. But here's the truth. If you're going to ask for advice to your parents or to your best friends, it's a flawed strategy. Reason why: they don't want you to suffer, and they don't want you to be involved with constraints and difficulties and complications and complex life. So they're just going to tell you what's the best way to have an easy route to probably fail. Because they don't want you to be hurt, they don't want you to be sick, they don't want you to be stressed. The truth is, if you really want to succeed, you have to go through the people that are going to be tough to you, but seriously looking after your future. Reason why I've started with a business coach, which is Dan Martell, and I invested, because that's not spending, that's literally investing. Same for the AI, that's an investment.
Great investment.
Right.
And Dan knows what he's doing, and he puts so much attention into this. You picked well.
That's right. So I invested $25,000 every year to literally have a talk to him, ask him questions, listen to other entrepreneurs asking the same questions and related to me. So I've learned so much every single week, no matter what time I need to wake up, because 11 a.m. in Canada is 4 a.m. for Australia most of the times. So that's cool, but I take it, and I've grown so much because of that. But the reason why I've grown so much is because he's not going to say, congratulations, Robbie, for getting your new PB on revenue. He says, oh, you're still there. You haven't gone to that. When are you going to get to that? You were just celebrating your next PB on revenue for the last month, and he's going to tell you, when are you going to make 12 months out of this?
Absolutely. And the thing I really like about learning from people who are in Canada, America, somewhere else, is harsh truth. I think Australians don't like to talk about money, and you would have heard of the tall poppy syndrome.
Oh,
Tell me.
I'm experiencing it right now. Yes,
Go
yes.
for it.
Well, it's a thing that I've just discovered literally this year. I've had a bit of success, not where I want to be yet, but I've had a bit of a success, and as soon as that come out,
What happened?
happened that I've heard a lot of things said behind my back.
Friends?
Well, I wouldn't say friends, but other business owners, other people, and so you can tell because the people who really care about you, then they say that and say, look, this is happening because of this and that. Now, it's your choice to what you want to do. First, obviously, being an emotional person, I went through a couple of difficulties where I thought, but why is this happening? Then I came to the realization that it's an actual thing. There is a tall poppy syndrome. And it's insane because, as I said before, we are so lucky to be in Australia. We should cheer for everybody, like for each other. So if you're a very successful entrepreneur, even above me, I'm going to come and ask you for advice on how you get there. I'm not going to talk behind your back and say you're an arrogant or a presumptuous person. Here, everyone's got a choice, right? So I passed that phase where I was sad and upset. Now I reached to a point where I just separated myself from those people. I love them from afar. And now I'm just sticking to people that I know that they're going to push me ahead. They're going to be very tough for me, and I know that, and I like that. I need that because that's what's going to push me to the next level. So I always go by this. Separate yourself. Know to separate yourself from the people who want more from you and get closer to the people who are more for you.
That is groundbreaking. And I appreciate how you worded that because everybody will want something from you. I am grateful for the voluntary background that I came from, but it was all giving and a lot of people just wanted to get things from me. And the tall poppy syndrome was intense. It was probably what you're describing, but I had a reaction of fear, not just sadness. And I wanted to encourage everybody that whether someone feels scared of the tall poppy syndrome or whether they are feeling sad that people have said things, we can encourage people right now, especially in Australia, that there are people out there who are supporting growth. I think anyone who's involved with this podcast, and I'm sure you know more people, I think you need to find your people, find the ones who will encourage. And I think one of the best messages I got was actually from Renee Warren when she was checking, am I getting 10K months? I won't answer that question right now on the air, but having someone say, this is where you should be, is it happening? I grew up never hearing something like that, not with that sort of where's your next benchmark, and you are finding people who are encouraging you, but also we have an opportunity in movements, communities, shows. I think we need so many more conversations where anyone needs to reach out. So I'm sure people can reach out to you, reach out to me if they want to take the next step and level up and feel proud of that.
That's right. Being a tough coach, and I've experienced this with a lot of past employees, being a tough coach, it's tough love. And if you really care about people, you don't always have to make them comfortable. Actually, the uncomfortable is what takes you to the next level. So I guess in the past, a lot of employees have left my company. There was nothing wrong with them. There was nothing wrong with me. It was simply they weren't close to the same value as me. But also a lot of people don't accept that. They prefer to be in their comfortable zone, in the comfort zone actually, and they like to be not pushed, and that's the reality they want to be left at. And then you will see them in 10 years doing the same job, earning the same amount of money, being the same as they were 10 years beforehand, because that's simply the reality that they wanted to have. So I think coming to the end of the tall poppy syndrome, most people say do that, and they have that tall pop syndrome because seeing you achieving and going ahead and pursuing your own way despite all the things that people say is leaving them to the reality where they're at, and they don't want to be left behind. So rather than them moving forward, they're trying to drag you back. It's a syndrome. So it's like a disease. It's a clear disease. So I've had so many people, and I'm still having right now around me, who are well ahead of me, where I wanted to be. And the only conversation I'm having about them or to them is, how did you do it? How can I improve my business? How can I improve my own self to do better? I think seeing somebody else who is more successful than you should see that as an opportunity.
So as we wind up, I want to encourage everybody, although we have been referring to people who we follow, we are both encouraging anyone to overcome the tall poppy syndrome. So Robbie, if you want to let the listeners know what they should do if they are ready to step up and create a change that can improve their lives.
Well, dive in. So take a dive, start, begin, whatever that will be. What's the worst case scenario? If you have a regular job, 9 to 5, work 5 to 9. That's the job that you do to learn and to try. What's the worst case scenario? You will stop that and you go back to your normal job, right? If you really want this to get to the next level, they can also reach out to me. I'm looking for employees, I'm looking for partners, I'm looking for anything to grow and to go to the next level. My idea and my dream is to have 10 companies within the next 10 years. I've got 3 now, so I've got 7 to go. So there are plenty of opportunities for a lot of people to work with me, and together we can be either co-workers or partners.
Amazing. And if anyone wants to share their story, then reach out, because there is plenty of space on the Motivate Collective podcast. Robbie, thank you so much for being on the show.
No, thank you, Mel. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. You're doing a great job.
Thanks.